All right. Let's see how this goes today. Cool, that looks good. Welcome everybody. Nobody's there yet. But let's see how this goes. So today, this evening, I decided to just do some live streamings on Tuesday, 8 p.m. And what I want to do in the next 2 hours is that I want to play around with Netlify and Netlify Analytics, basically. So what you see here is my current website, and I ditched Google Analytics in favor of having Netlify Analytics. And in case you're not familiar with Netlify, Netlify is a static site hoster. That's pretty sweet if you do static stuff in the Jamstack. And this is basically their analytics dashboard. And while I think this is pretty great, so this is analytics on the server side. While I think this is pretty great, what I would like to have is a little bit more control over what data is displayed and how the data is grouped and how it actually goes here and how it's maybe grouped there. Also, I'm not very interested in this one maybe. And I would like to have a little bit better representation of the analytics. And when you have a look at what's going on here, this is basically just API calls. So what I want to do in the next 2 hours is I want to try to build an app that fetches the same API data, but with a different representation. And I want to tweak some API calls that are basically going on here. So you see here that there is this one service, which is, I think it's called Analytics or something. And it's just API calls. So let's figure out how we could build an app, maybe something like better analytics.netlify.app or something. And the way to do this is to build a Netlify app, basically. And I found already this nifty example, which is by Netlify itself. So you see here Netlify Oauth 2 provider. I'm not the strongest person on all this Oauth stuff, but let's figure out if we can make it work. So we see here, for example, that there's an example hosted page somewhere. Oh, is it here? Did this just go into the Oauth example? Okay, so let's go here. And here we have an Oauth example. So let's have a look at how this looks. So we see here Netlify site search. We can log in with Netlify. Yeah, I want to authorize that. And then we have some stuff here going already. So these are all the sites that I have on Netlify. And is it keeping the same state? No, it's not persisting state. Okay, so I would like to persist the state though. But what we could do now is we could just have a look at how this is done, and we could start re-implementing things. Oh wow, is that already a React app? That looks cool. So maybe we should just fork it then. So how old is that? 4 months? Test commits are always the best commits. All right, how to build an Oauth app, create an Oauth application. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Show credentials. All right, let's give that a try. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna fork this to my own account here. And then we're gonna clone it, and then we're gonna see how far we can get. All right, so let's grab the URL here, and I'm going to my terminal. I'm in some projects, so let's maybe create a new directory, streaming stuff. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clone this repository, and then let's see what happens. All right, this looks pretty good. Installing dependencies, nice. Hopefully it's not taking too long. I was on a stream earlier today, and the installation part took something around 10 minutes or something, which was not great. But it seems like it's going a little bit better here, okay? Yeah, that looks, we have some deprecation stuff, but overall it looks pretty okay-ish. Come on, npm. Yeah. Maybe we can, in the meantime, have a look at what is happening here. So we can have a look here. And then we're gonna go, okay, app component, CSRF token, path hash. I think we can just go in and tweak the whole thing then. So let's see how we're gonna do this. So come on, npm. My computer's flying because we're installing the internet. Yeah, almost there. And now let's see. Cool. So let me open that in VS Code, which is on the wrong screen right now. Here we go. And I assume there's an npm startup command available. Nice. So that's not too bad. Development server 3000, but let me move that to Firefox. Here we go. Starting development server. Looks good. Okay, so what do we do with that now? So we can click here. And it's basically doing nothing. So let's figure out what is expected here. So when we click this button, so let's see where this button is coming from, and then let's figure out what's happening. So when I look here in the code, all right, let me just bump up this whole thing a little. Okay. So when we look for login button, we have it here. Fork me URL. Nice. Okay, that's great. On click, handle auth. So where's handle auth coming from? Prevent default, state CSS token. Now it's redirecting to a function, which we have here in functions, and it's going to auth start for redirection URL. Okay, and then we have a callback URL. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on here. We grab the code and then restore previous state, token, user. I think this is a little bit too much on what we're gonna do, but we're gonna make it work first, and then we're gonna find out what's going on. So as this is using, is there a secret here somewhere? README. I think we should go back to the README of the whole thing. Okay, so let's have a look. How should we make that work first? Building a custom Netlify UI, that's all right. Building desklog, yeah, all right. So, okay, log in, then it's going to auth, and it's going to Netlify. Netlify said yes. Then it's going to this auth callback function. Exchange auth code for access token. And then receive access token, and then come back here. Exchange auth code. All right. You can use this repo. That's probably the same thing. Oauth example. Yeah. Okay. Create an Oauth application first. Let's go to Netlify then and figure that out. So we're going to my account, I assume, and then we go to applications. And here we already see that I played around with it a little bit, and I'm going to create a new access token, but I probably don't want to do this on screen. Your Oauth application, show credentials. Okay, so let's create it first, and then let's see what we got. And if there's sensible information there, then we just revoke it very quickly. Okay, we have an access token here. Let's create a new Oauth app. Okay, application name is Analytics on stream. Redirect URL should probably localhost, I assume. Yeah, okay, so for that, let's maybe run Netlify dev first so that we have these serverless functions available. So the cool thing about the Netlify CLI is that could not find, or is it built with Yarn? All right, let's install Yarn then first. Yeah, let's go for that one. And Netlify CLI allows then functions to run locally, which is actually pretty sweet. So it's kind of trying to be the Netlify environment right in front or right on your machine, which is pretty sweet. So let's have a look. Maybe brew is a little bit quicker here. Come on, I just want to install Yarn, which should just be a little bit of source of Node.js code. Well, this is terrible. I have Node available. I really deleted the cask chicken. Okay, that is at least something. Do I install Yarn the right way? Yarn install. I think it's installing via brew these days, isn't it? Brew install Yarn. Okay. So now we should have Yarn available, and hopefully we still have the same Node version. Okay, we do. So what we can now do is we can do Netlify dev, and let's see what happens. Okay, Yarn run, that looks good. Is that working already? Localhost. All right, is it running the functions already? So when we now go to, what is the URL? Let's have a look. .netlify function auth callback. That would be nice if I could just copy that one. Netlify functions, what was it? Auth minus callback.js, auth minus callback.js. Function not found. Netlify functions auth callback.js. Is that the function name? Auth callback.js. Let's just try it like this. Function not found is the other one there. It should be in the, it should show that function server. Is there a Netlify thing? Functions is functions, client ID and client secret. Oh, I actually don't want to have these. Okay, so let's have a look. I wonder why there was another example before I actually seen this one. Let me make that a little smaller. Okay. Create an Oauth application, yeah, and then show credentials. Oh, that is very unfortunate. I didn't want to. This example here, the one that I actually had a look at was this one. I think, no, it was this one, I think. And it did not need the so here we have a whoops access token. Where's the secret? Client ID. And we're looking for, where's the client ID? Client ID. Example.com. How does it work? There has to be an ID somewhere. Submit client. Oh, it was flexible. Yeah. In this example here, yeah, you have to define the client ID. And then, okay, let me just show you this example here and how this works. So that the way that this was working is, when you go here, this was deployed somewhere, wasn't it? G3T. Okay. But I don't think that this is bringing us somewhere here. Okay, so the way it works is auth grant request, login, create an Oauth application. Okay, we're gonna do that first. We're gonna do that. So, and we're dealing with localhost 3000, so it will be local HTTP localhost 3000. And then it actually should be Netlify functions. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the right. Do we see it? What happens if we, is that online? Here it is. So that we can copy the right function path here. So when I go here, we can now log into Netlify. Let's go to network. Where's the persist calls? Is it this one? Search, pause, resume. All right, let's see if we see the URL here. Oops. All right, this is the path that I'm looking for. So it's .netlify.functions.auth callback. Is it stripping the JS these days? Auth start. All right, let's define this one and then let's see what happens. So we go this one. All right, nice. And now we're gonna save this one. And this probably shows me some stuff. Yeah. What do we have here? I will delete that now. Okay, we have a client ID and we have a client secret. Yeah. Okay, so what do we do with that now? So then the call comes in. Auth authorization code. Oh, it has this. Oh, it has a auth implementation by hand. Okay, I'm gonna move my terminal out for a moment, and then I'm gonna define. You know what? I think Netlify has a thing for that now. So let's do npm. Let's update Netlify CLI. Let npm e-g Netlify CLI. And I'm quickly set up a new Netlify site here. And then we can see if we can, I will define these tokens on Netlify. And then let's see if we can pull these in. I think that there is a command for that. All right, so where's my example here? Let's go to GitHub, Stefan, and I forked the repository. So what we should be able to do is that we should be able to do now to deploy this new fork. Where is it? Didn't I press fork? What is the Oauth example? Oauth. What the? Oh, I cloned another one. Okay. Forks. Here it is. Isn't it in my repositories here? That is super wild. Stefan Judis Oauth example.git. Oauth. What? I don't see forks. But it is right here. What the fuck? Is that new? That I don't see forks in my repository listings anymore? There's some filter going, is that? Oauth. Here we go. Oh, that's odd. Okay, so what we could do in Netlify now is that we could create a new site from GitHub. And this is what we have here. No, I don't want to do contentful stuff. We're authorized, and now I want to Oauth. Yeah, come on. Is it that Oauth example? Yeah, that looks good. So let's. What is the build command? Let's have a look at. That is funny. It's using yarn, but inside of it, it's using an npm. Okay. Let's just see. I'm just want to use it for. We can treat that later. So let's deploy that. Let's see what happens. So what we can do now here is that I'm gonna grab the needed tokens, which were somewhere in, where's process-env? Here it was. So I'm gonna define these two environment variables now, and then I hope that I can pull them in from the Netlify CLI so that I don't show them on screen. Okay, so let's go here to environment variables. So we want to have, nope. We want to have this one. And we want to have this one. And now I'm gonna move that off for just a second because I want to define these in there. Oh, come on. So first one, client ID, second one, client secret. Oh shit, and I'm doing the same thing here. Okay, so let's copy this one. I know that this is not visible right now, but I have to copy some tokens and stuff. Okay, so let's go here, create a new application, new Oauth application, analytics, Analytics on stream. Redirect to URL is HTTP localhost 3000 Netlify auth callback. Save that. Where is it? What? Yeah, let's do that again. Analytics on stream, HTTP localhost 3000, then the URL path. Save that. Okay. So now I at least see the client ID, which you see the last part from it. But sorry about that. So we have the client ID here, and I'm gonna copy the secret here. Now I'm gonna save that. And now I'm gonna get rid of this. And this looks good. Cool. So what we can do now is hopefully we can pull these in with Netlify. So what we can do is, how is the command for that? It's Netlify pull in env, Netlify def. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's actually not localhost 3000, it's localhost 888. Okay. Function invocation failed. Well, that's already progress. Okay. Okay. So we have some stuff going here. Okay. So let's Google that. Netlify pull in. Is there a link command first? Netlify link, maybe? Use current Git image. Yeah. Directory link. Okay. And then Netlify -h. Let's see what's available. Well, env looks good. So let's have a look here. Env -h. Import and send environment files from .env. Okay. So let's do Netlify env import. Is it showing that now? Oh, env :import. How do I use that? Inf import. Oh, it's the other way around. List, get, set, unset. I think that it's included in def actually. Def. Oh, here we go. Do you see it? Ejected build setting env var. Cool. So that's nice. So theoretically, function invocation failed. So let's debug what's going on here. Okay, we're going to localhost 8888. And now we're gonna, I assume, see some errors here. Cannot find module Oauth. Cannot find module Oauth. Okay, so we go cd functions and do an npm install here. And hopefully that is not taking too long. And then we can already go back one level. But I think I have to first update the port because I thought it was the port 333. So I'm going back to my Netlify configuration. And I think that to update that now, I have to show the secret. So I'm just moving it quickly off again. Application, analytics on stream, edit. Yeah, and it's 8888. Save that one. Okay, cool. So install is now gone. So now we can do Netlify dev, I think. It's injecting the tokens that we need, starting the server. Okay, that's cool. And now we log in. We redirect to Netlify. So that's cool. That's throwing an error now. Okay. Let's just do that again. Localhost 8888. Error during. Okay, so is the client ID not correct now? Did I mess that up? Oh, do I have to show my... So we have here the client ID. Oh, I probably made a copy. There's a dash inside of the. There's a dash inside of the token, so probably it didn't copy everything. So let me just update the keys. Client ID. Yeah, that is it. Okay. So let's move that one back here and let's restart the thing. So, and hopefully we now have set up the thing that we can authenticate with Netlify via Oauth. So we have here localhost 888, which looks good. Nice. Here we have the application, the Oauth application that I just defined. So when you want to do this, you can follow the GitHub thing, the GitHub README, and here we have, nice. Cool. So that's cool. So we have a search thing here, which is also fairly snappy. The thing here is though that it's not keeping the state. How is that usually done in an Oauth? Can I store that in local storage? Should I store a Oauth token in local storage? Store tokens. Let's just put it into session storage. Let's see what happens here. So I have to bump the font size just a little bit because that's too much. Okay. So how is this actually working? So we go to app and then let's get rid of the search here. So we go to app. There's some sort stuff, which I'm not very interested in. There's a lot of things going. So what was the button name? The button name was, I think that's already pretty cool that it works. That's nice. So what we can do now is we can, so app.js starts somewhere. Components, fork me. What does fork me? Ah, it's the it's the GitHub corner. Okay, nice. Okay, so we have here super. This is crossed out console log hash. Protects against CSF, token invalid, local storage remove item, this state. If response token, please try to log in again. Handle auth, handle logout. Render list. super beautiful if else stuff. So I think we should clean up stuff a little bit, because there's a lot of things going on that I'm actually really not interested in. Okay. When I do a refresh, is it losing state all the time? So it should be recompiled. Oh yeah, no, we cannot develop like that. Okay, let's put the token into session storage, and then let's read it from there. Because somewhere here has to be an HTTP call. So loading. So it's using Netlify API. So where's that used? Window. User this state. That's the only location. So I'm looking for a, oh, it's client. Okay, it's client. So client list sites await. Okay, so the thing that I'm just going to, I'm going to do some research is that if that is actually how you should do it. But so the thing is that there is the token, which is inside of user, which comes from the response from here. And I think there's some function magic going on. So, and then it should be in user, where is it? User token. So what I'm going to do is, let's prototype that very quickly. What I'm going to do is that I do session storage, set item, schnitzel, and then we do ABC. And then we can probably do session storage, schnitzel. Okay. So let's put the token in here. So we do session storage set item schnitzel, and then we do response token. And now what we could do potentially is, I'm also not interested in the user. Or am I? I don't want to lock that because that includes now a token. Let's just do it like this. We change that later. So let's add a to do here. To do we need the user object, and we do token equals session storage schnitzel. So then we can say if not token this state user's response token. I'll change this one to token. If not token, return. All right. So let's see if user is defined but not used. What? So we're not going to use Netlify API here because, let's have a look at npm Netlify. The thing is that I'm not planning to use documented API endpoints. So we have this buddy here, and this probably has a, this is what we're looking for, yeah. And this pretty sure has nothing with analytics, yeah. So we can drop Netlify API, so I'm not interested in this one. So we can already move it from the package JSON. Here we go, let's remove this one. So we're not having client here, and we don't have sites for now. So let's see, And then we have somewhere the render function. Here we go. If user, let's change this one to token. If not token, return this one. And else we keep the log out, log in, but then we have contents. And we're gonna drop all this because I don't need it. All right. The only thing is that what we have is here is you're logged in. This does it for me, and we can drop this reference here. How are we compiling? Line 259, 259. Oh, success. Okay, cool. So what we now theoretically could do is we could go here. We could go log out, log in. What? Oh, we have to implement log out. Where's log out? To clean the handle logout. Okay. Handle logout. Session, storage, remove item, schnitzel. All right, let's do that again. So we're gonna log out. Cool. Well, the cleaning doesn't seem to work. Let's have a look. Component didn't mount, so I'm just gonna log console log token. So I'm just gonna cut it so that I don't have it on screen. So is that still there? It's undefined. Okay, so that's good. But why is it a string undefined? Should we just clear it up? Maybe I had something in the meantime wrong. So let's go to, I think it's storage, session storage, localhost, schnitzel undefined. Yeah, great. So we have now schnitzel is undefined. So clearly something is wrong with setting this, because when I delete it, it's set again. Okay. And response, where's response coming from? Parse hash. Okay. If response token, return. If response token, yeah, we have to clean that up later, but let's just do it like this. If response token, let's do it like this. So that should now not set it anymore. So let's get rid of this one. Login, cool. Authorize with Netlify, that looks nice. Here we go. You're logged in. You're logged in. Nice. So when we now log out, so we have a token here, which we got rid of. All right. But now I showed the token on stream actually, because okay. Can I log out people? Can I change something here? Okay, I'm gonna move it out for another minute, because now I had the token on stream, which I don't want anyone to do something with that. So I'm gonna change my, I'm gonna rotate my application secrets and stuff here. So that nothing bad is happening in case anyone wants to log in as me now with my Netlify account, which I really don't want to have that. Okay, so we're gonna delete the Oauth application that I had on stream. All right, so analytics on stream, I have the redirect URL, and I'm gonna copy client ID, and I'm gonna copy client secret, which I'm now gonna update in my deployment settings. In the environment, yeah. So we have this one here, and we have this one there. And 4040 SKT. Okay, so I'm going to save these. All right. So now what we're going to do is that I'm going to that is logging stuff here. That's also not great. Oh boy. Okay, but we can still log in now. We can authorize. Nice. And what we can do now is you're logged in. You're logged in. All right. So what I'm going to do now is it's time to reverse engineer what's actually going on Netlify. So I'm going to go to my site here, and I'm going to look at the analytics, and I would first of all like to get the page view information. So let's have a look at the network panel here, and we're going for analytics. And there's a bunch of stuff going on. Can we look for views? Page views. Nice. So that looks good. And what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at, where's the request? It's list sites or something. Here it is. So we're going to do const page views, and here we have the URL, and we're going to do old school fetch, and that returns a promise. Let's do response here, and then is it JSON, or let's call it page views, whoops, which is response.json, which returns a promise 2. So what we can do now is we bring this one in. We do need a site ID. So this here is basically the site ID of the website that I'm interested in. So we do need what is in there. Oh, that is unfortunate now. So let's take a step back a little bit, and let's bring this one back in. And let's bring in Netlify again. Yeah, so I'm interested in, where is Netlify? Is it not showing? This is the line that I want to get. Import from Netlify. Here we go, and it was Netlify API from Netlify. So now we should still be able to, so this is now token. All right, let's see if that still works. we go here, you're logged in, and we want to do site's length. Let's have a look. All right, so the fix. So what we're going to do first is probably I want to bring in a perfect world, that should be something like here, site ID. Yeah, that's what it should be. No, let's not do that now. I'm gonna hard code my site ID here. So let's do site ID, and then let's bring in this one. Here we go. I assume this is also in the URL on Netlify. It's not. It has a site name. Should we bring in a router now? No, I think it's too early. I'm gonna hardcode that. That's all right. Oops. So this, we're gonna go back to our fetch thing. Oops. We're gonna bring these in. And now we're gonna make this a template string. And this is now, so it starts with A73, it ends with A19, yeah. So let's use that in here, like site ID, and then do this. And then we have to bring in a header, authorization bearer, and here we're gonna use the token. What's your problem here? Let's have a look at window.fetch mdn. Here we go. Headers. Oh, I'm not interested in the. Here we go. So it's headers, and then. So we're gonna go do headers. Then we're gonna bring this one in. And am I missing a comma here? No. So that looks good. And now we could potentially have a look at page views here. So let's have a look what happens now. And we have to get rid of this one. Here's our React app. Unauthorized. Do I have a typo or something? I had that. I tested that before, if I'm allowed to query that endpoint with, Let me just move that off here for a second to see if the request is properly set. Request headers. Wow. It is set. So let me just quickly check how the structure is here. Page view, page. Bearer. All right, let me just go back for a moment, because I tried that before in an example here. So probably I have something like here. cd Oauth Is that the one with the example? No, that's not the one that I'm looking for, is it? Let's have a look at the streaming stuff again, and let's go back into what? Which directory did I clone it? Oauth example. Didn't I clone it in the streaming stuff? So do I have that somewhere? Is it still in my... I have this habit to do things in my temp directory. So let's see if it's still there. No, it's not. Okay, so log in. That works. But I get an unauthorized. Oh, look at this, there's my name and the token, but as long as we don't have the secret, that's all right, I think. What is all that stuff? First of all, do we have a service worker here somewhere? Let's clean that up. Service workers. Okay. Is that run? So when we look at here, is this part correct? So when we go to the site ID, that one is correct. Time zone, solution range, headers. Man, I tested it there just a few days ago. Okay, let's bring up the example that I played around with to see if it's really not working. So let's have a look. Netlify Oauth example. This is not the one that I actually played around with. I played around with this one. Okay. No. Also not. So let's have a look. Integrating with Netlify Oauth. There was probably a link somewhere in here. Here. This is how I started my journey. So let's have a look here. So that's yeah, and I meant authorization. There. All right. So let's just copy this file for a second, and let's Let's see if it's still working. So I'm gonna go back to, and I'm gonna create a new Oauth tryout. All right. All right, let's bring that one in. Here we go. Oops. Index HTML empty. Oh, that's JavaScript. Here we go. Let's copy the index. And I'm just going to grab everything here and I'm going to place it inside this thing here. Okay, here we go. And now what we can do is we can go to our terminal and we can do live server. Yeah. We can grab the client ID. Which I will just quickly grab from my deploy settings. I will show the client ID, I think that's okay. But I don't want to show all the other things that are visible when I open up the dialog. So let's go to settings, build and deploy. Yeah. And I want to have the client ID, which is this one. Okay. So here we could now do this. We could submit this thing. Oh man. Why is that not working? Client ID, response type token. Authorization. Okay, that's not working for some reason. Because it's redirecting to a different URL. Can I stop this one and can I do, does my live server has a, so how do we do that best now? I'm gonna create a new, all right, I'm not creating a new window, which I just use for the auth handling so that I can do that. So let's do it like this. Can clean up a little bit here. And I'm now just creating a very quick here we go. And I'm creating styles. Let's copy this one. Okay. And I have this one in VS Code already. So we're here. Let's do CSS. No, what was it? Let's do styles.css. Rename it's styles.css. Paste this one, so now it should look at look a little bit better. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's okay. I have applications open, so I'm gonna create a new Oauth application now to see if I can actually access analytics. I tested that before, but application delete me, and redirection URL is this one. And I paste that one. Okay. So here we have the client ID. I submit this one. Okay, authorize with Netlify. Cool. We're gonna do this one. What is going on? Because I copied again, not the whole thing. Okay, so it's localhost 8080 with the client ID here. We authorize with Netlify. Localhost 8080. Yeah, that's what I... Okay. Authorize with Netlify. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Redirect 8080. Should it be localhost 8080? Localhost 8080. Save that one. Okay. That's my client ID. Yeah, I want to submit that one, and I want to authorize on Netlify. Cool. So I just created a temporary Oauth application, and here we go. So this is now running, doing an API call that is authorized by Netlify. So what I just am doing this right now to figure out if I have access to the analytics. So here we have an analytics URL. So when we go now to this API call, there's something that goes to, what is it, sites or something? This is it. So the only thing that I want to do now is I want to figure out if I now can access this body here. So, and I have my site ID here. So let's quickly, because I'm very sure that I tested that before today. So we can grab that one. We're gonna paste that one in here. And the access token, so, and then output, this is gonna throw, which is okay. So we're just gonna comment this one, and all I'm interested in is I wanna see if I can get some data back here. So when we now go back to localhost 8080, this all refreshed. We're gonna paste our client-side ID again. We're gonna authorize with Netlify because it's currently not. I don't get it. I have too much. Oh no, that's my client. Okay. So this is the ID, I think. And it includes, let me just copy that. Okay. So we're going to authorize with Netlify, which for this delete application, cool. So this now should log some stuff. Exactly. So I do think, yeah. So we see here ingestion, and we see here some data, and we see, yeah. So when we look at this now, something is, oh shit, now I have to do it again. Here we go. Oops. Let's authorize that with Netlify again, because the other implementation tells me that I'm not authorized. I'm not CSRF attacking here. What's going on? It's me. Authorize with Netlify. And now authorize that one. Oh, come on. I really. So here we have this analytics call, which is exactly the same call. Okay, so now we can go back to the project that we had, because we know that with this access token that we have after a Oauth flow, we can access Netlify Analytics data. So let's go back here, and here we have Oauth example it was, and let's do Netlify dev again to come back. Oh man, I really actually only want to draw one graph here today. So that is a goal. So we have here localhost 8080. Local, we can log in. Cool. So we want to authorize analytics on stream. You are logged in. That's cool. And it's telling me unauthorized. So let's have a look what this request actually is and why it's not working. So we fire up analytics service. Analytics services Netlify v1 from to yada yada yada. Analytics services, and it includes a authorization header there, and it includes a authorization header there. Is it a different token? So in this code we have something else going on here. So we have a callback here. So let's see what this is doing. Okay, so when we do a redirect, we get some parameters, we grant the grant code, state health, try. So it does this here. So let's have a look at Oauth. I think we're dealing with different token here. So we're doing here get token. Oauth authorization code get token. Get token authorization. Right, so Oauth is utils auth. What? Oops. So let's look at these side by side. So we have auth.js, we have the callback that requires Oauth. Auth instance. What is auth instance? Simple Oauth create. What is simple Oauth? Okay, let's have a look. Simple Oauth. Let's have a look. Is there something configuring what the token should be allowed to do? Oh, look at this. Authorize profile. What's the authorized path? Authorized path. All right, I'm gonna take a 2 minutes bathroom break. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna comment in the site call again, and we're just gonna log this one in, log this one out to have a look if this is working still. All right. So theoretically, when we now go back to our app, we should see the Netlify call to the sites. We see some sites. Okay. So I have the suspicion that, oh, that's nice. I've seen this on Twitter, but I haven't seen the little turtle for slow things. How slow was it? Is there, where is my timings here? Come on. Timings. Response time, it should be here. Okay. I want to see. Come on. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It has a little turtle here, but I have to screenshot that. That's cool. Here we go. Cool. So, but this call here still works, right? And it has this barcode here, GEESV, and I'm showing it on stream. Oh, and I'm the worst. And then we have this call, which is unauthorized. It has a different token. What is going on here? Okay, so we call Netlify API what? It's encoded? All right, we got some analytics data here. Cool. All right, so let's have a look at the functions again. So is here something like auth callback, Persisting? All right, I have no clue when it is encoded, but it seems to work now. So what we could now do is, let's have a look at the data that we get. We got an array. What data are we actually fetching here? We are fetching page views. That's not what I'm interested in. I want to see a graph today. So let me just go to my analytics settings here. Here we go. And I want to see analytics. I'm interested in what? Page views. I'm interested in page views, but not in a single thing, but I want to have all right, let's make that a little bit bigger here. Pages, is that a different? Aha, resolution day. What do we have here? Resolution range. All right, so with this, now we should see a little bit more data here. Street data, 32 points, which looks good. All right, let's map these out and let's play with some data here. So what we can do now, we have page views here, and what we can do is we say loading false and page views equal end page views. That's it. And now we could do where's the render function? You're logged in, and now we can do, is it destructuring? Yeah. So we do page views, and then we do here page views map. Let's create a list first. And then we have page views map. Then we have entry, and then return, whoops, entry. No, wait, it's like this. No. And then return an li, and then how's the data? The data is, yeah, that is great. What is that? Page views is undefined. 285. Page views. But I said it. Page views. What the? If not token, okay. And then we have, that makes sense. So we have this render thing is probably here. Okay, let's do if page views do this and otherwise do nothing. Page views data map. Oh, that's nice. And what is the data? The data looks like it's a timestamp. So let's have a look what that is. And here we do two local. What are all these fancy APIs now? Something like this, maybe? Two local string? Yeah, that looks good. entry. It's an array of 2 values, isn't it? So it's 0, and then we do new date here, and then we do 2 local string, yeah, and then we save that one. And let's just, okay. Nice, and then we can do, okay, let's destructure that for a moment. It's timestamp and value. And then we have here timestamp and value. No. Timestamp and value. Nice. Okay. So now we're fetching. Let's do a recap. So what we do here is now we have a login with Netlify button, and you can log in. You can authorize, and it is now saying you're logged in, and it's now fetching the analytics data. Can we graph that now already? Is there something easy? React graph npm React charts. Chart library React. Let's have a look. 7 chart libraries for your project. Let's what should we lose? Recharts. Victory. Nivo. I like that one. That looks good. Okay, so let's have a look. So 14,000 stars. Data. Is there a documentation part? Okay, recharts. Formidable Labs. Okay. And that's what's the last one? Nivo Rocks. Okay. Built on top of D3 and React libraries. So I'm actually just looking for something like this. So how would I use this? Components. Yeah, and I'm looking for a line chart. Shouldn't there be the code somewhere here? Come on. Okay, out. Data key name, data. I'm interested, I'm wondering if I have to do some data crunching here. So let's have a look. So I actually, this looks good. Where is the data point? Where are the data points coming from? So it's offset 5%, show data format. Huh. Const data. Oh, that's cool. I mean, we could have page views and unique page views in the same thing. Oh, I'm digging that. But where are, so we have here UV, PV, UV, PV, okay. And then we have, how's it assigning the values? So we pump in the data. But how does it know how to, what is what? Is that the format? Name and value. Let's find out. All right, we're gonna go with this one. So let's get started here. Can I edit these kind of things? Nice. So I'm looking for, let's look at all the examples. Tiny line chart, dash line chart. No, 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 no. Oh, I love graphs. I think that's super nice. Okay, so let's, yeah, stick with simple, huh? So what is included here? So let's install recharts. So I'm gonna go install recharts, and then let's have a look. So what we wanna have, I'm just gonna copy this whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go to, let's make that a new component though. Let's call it components, and then you've view chart index.js. Is it index? Yeah. Okay. So when we now do, what the? Today is one of these days where I'm just heavily annoyed by the JavaScript ecosystem. How can downloading a JavaScript library, yeah. Okay, so let's back in here and let's go. Here we go. So we have the server now running, so we can close this one. We're not going with victory. I'm sorry, victory. What we could now do is we have to bring this body here into a format pure component. What's pure component? I have no idea what pure component in this context is, but import React pure component from React. Here we go. It's already exporting something. Line chart. What? Why is it complaining about this? Line chart. Aha. Okay, so let's do. Does it have to have a name? No. Okay. So let's go. Looks good. So what we can now do is we can do import line chart from components views chart index. Okay, so theoretically we could now do, we just render it here, and we're gonna pass some data in just a moment. So let's have a look if that is drawing something now. What? Cannot resolve views. You should spell things right, Stefan. All right, so let's do views chart here. Let's start that one again. This one will now. No? What's up? Let's have a look if some node processes are still hanging or something. Okay, so let's start that one again. I'm really digging this injection of the Netlify CLI. I think that's super cool. It's a super nice touch. Okay, yeah, show me something. What? What is happening? Do I have to reinstall that now? I don't know when it dropped, to be honest, but okay, so then we do Netlify dev afterwards. What is up with this, honestly? Okay, so run it. Okay, so let's log in. Let's authorize. You're logged in, and if we're lucky, we see a chart. Nice. Okay, so next step. What we're gonna do is we're not gonna render this here, but we're gonna pass in data. And for that, we're gonna have a look at what this thing actually wants to have. So we want to have line index. Oh no, it's views index. So it is expecting a name, which should probably be the date, and then a value. Okay, so let's crunch some data here. So what we want to do is page views here. So what we want to do is that page views data, and then we were mapping already that there is a timestamp and then there's a value, and then we map that to an object which has the name is a timestamp and views is the value. Data map to this. I'm thinking I'm like this. Yeah. So with this, we should now be able to pass in page views. Is it just an array? Okay. So then we could drop the data that is passed to this component and say let's make that a functional component. This okay. Export default function, and then we can drop this render. then we have something like this. Then we have props. We don't need this body because I don't care. And then this is props data here. And with this, we should now be able to already see Netlify Analytics data. Come on. After we look at it. Pure component is used, but is required, but never used. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Okay, we see a line chart. What do we see here? Okay, we see 3 timestamps. We see 3 timestamps. Why 3? Anyone an idea why 3? And no value, basically. So let's see if the data is in the correct format. So we do, let's have a look here just into page views. And now we do log it out. So we have an array of objects with name and views. So where we're coming from is an array with objects with name and views. So it has to be something with the configuration here. So the line should be views. Okay, I think that does already align now. Nice. And it's just not showing, oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. So let's format the date so that we actually see something here. Page views. Oh, and I have to figure out how to format a date. Well, thank you, Emma. Well, it took a little bit longer here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna format the timestamp first of all. So when we go here, we have, this is an example timestamp. So we do new date, something like this, and then we should to 0, 10, 9. Nice. Okay, I can live with that. And now we do, this is timestamp. Nice. All right, that's super cool. That's super cool. I'm getting a little bit hyped up here. So let's bring in the second line, which is unique timestamps on unique views. So let's have a look if there's a, is there a unique thing? No. Oh, but should I actually put these next to each other? Yeah, let's put them in the same graph so it just looks good. Okay, so what I'm looking for now is the API call. Is it visitors? Yeah. So what is the, so we have 2 different, let's get rid of this one. Where's the URL? What? Ah, here we go. So it's visitors is this one. Okay, so I'm interested in this body here. Okay, so for that, so basically we have, let's abstract our Netlify call out for a function. Let's do function call Netlify Analytics. And what we want to have is probably a path and a token. And then we can move this stuff out here. Let's copy this one. So I'm going to change this to be just the path. And this will be token. I should clean that up later, but not await. Async, await, and then we're going to return this. So with this, we could now do const page views, and this now gets the path. Let's just bring in a line here. This one. Here we go. And now we have, what did I call it? Token? Let's have a look. Token. Token. Here we go. Okay, wait, what do I do? Okay, yeah. Token should stay the same. Token. And now what we're going to do is unique visitors. Oh yeah, it's basically more or less the same thing here, right? So let's copy this one. And the time range should be the same. So we can get rid of this one. And now we have, was it just visitors? Visitors? I already don't remember. It was visitors from resolution day. Site ID, visitors from, yeah. So let's do unique visitors. And let's log these two out for a second. Page views, unique visitors. All right, let's have a look. I was already getting excited that I see. No, okay. Boom, 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 boom. Page views data is not defined because what is locked here? So we have page views. Now we have to await both. Okay. And we want to make these requests in parallel. So what we're going to do is we're going to do, so we could now do await here and we could await here, but this then would be sequential promise resolution. But what we want to do is we want to await promise.all, and then we bring in an array. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to clean this up, but I really would like to have my own analytics Netlify dashboard. So let's see if I continue. But I'm getting a little bit hyped up now. And probably I would just split out some components. And so in a perfect world, app.js should really be, I don't know. Yeah, I have to really split it up. Maybe I do that next week to just clean things up a little bit. Because structuring code, especially in React and functional component world, is a little bit tricky. I totally agree with you here. So we do page views, unique visitors. Let's see what happens now. Data. Bam, 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 bam. We have still a console log here somewhere, which we can drop out. Let's clean that up. Oh no. So my goal here is to reach it to that point that it will, so my goal here is to really release it to, for example, something like better analytics at .netlify.app, because due to the OAuth flow, you could totally use that, right? If I would now deploy that, you could totally use that yourself. And so if you have ideas on what features you would like to see for Netlify Analytics. I'm happy to play around with that on stream. Theoretically, I could already deploy that, but currently it's using my own site ID. So I need a little drop down here, and probably I could also see kind of like a router coming in, so that it's maybe a nicer interface to Netlify Analytics. So happy to drive that forward if you want to. I'm having a lot of fun here right now, and I'm getting excited. Maybe I'm bringing in a select or something already. So what we're gonna do is we're bringing another data point, which is now not views. Oh, we have to map it. We have to map things. Okay. I can hit the deploy button later. I mean, theoretically, everything is set up. Okay, so how do we do this now? What we do is we have to crunch that a little bit differently. So currently we have the structure. So let's have a look at the data structures here first. So what we're dealing with now is an object. Both are fetching Netlify Analytics data already. And we have page views and we have unique visitors. And they should have exactly the same timestamps. So let's see if that's true. 4, and a lot of zeros. 4, so 1598, 455, 4. So it looks like they're okay. It looks like they have the same timestamps. So we could theoretically just merge the arrays somehow. So let's call it view data maybe. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna take the page views data, and we're gonna map over it. That's a little bit dirty, but okay, let's just do it. So we have page view data, we have here the timestamp, we have here page view count, and now we're going to return an object, and we already have this thing here. So let's grab this one, timestamp. This is page view count, and now we'll probably get an index here too, because we're mapping over the array. And what we could do is, let's recall that. Let's call that page views, and here we do unique visitors, which then should be unique visitors data index and the first entry. Oh my god, I feel super dirty right now here. Okay, so let's bring in view data. Let's get rid of this one. Now we have view data here, and we can go into the render function, view data, and I renamed some stuff here. So I renamed it from let's log that out first. I'm changing too many things here. View data. Okay, let's have a look. That breaks now, but we should see an array with page views and unique visitors. Nice. So it's not drawing a line, which makes sense because I renamed the thing here. So this is now page views, and this will be unique. Let's call it different. Let's put page view count and unique visitor count. So this is page view count, unique visitor count, and let's just change the color here. Look at this. This is so cool. Ah, nice, I love that. So let's make that. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit too much, but let's have a look here. It's 600. Oh man, that is so cool. So now I wonder, so the main reason why I started thinking about this is that when I look at this thing, day is actually not the most interesting thing for me. I would like to see week or month. So I would, as we're reverse engineering, right? Let's see if Netlify, hey yeah, let's see if Netlify supports weeks. Page views, what? What did I change? Set state, view data. Okay, they don't. Okay. So they do not support... Do they support month? Let's have a look. That would have been too easy to get the data from the data per month. Let's see. Well, they do support month. Okay, I only... I do... That is a good thing. So let's figure that one out. For example, are you sure that Netlify is only persisting 30 days of data? Because I don't think they do. I think they support data way longer. So let's have a look. Let's change this one here. Let's change it to day again. And let's just fiddle around with the timestamps. So what we see here now is exactly a month of data. Hopefully still, yeah. So let's change the timestamp, the from timestamp. So, and what is that? I have no idea. So let's have a look what this is. So this is now 30 days ago, right? Pretty much. Let's fiddle around with some numbers here. So, okay, this is days. Let's change this one. And let's change this one. So this is now going back to April. Let's find out. So I'm changing these two timestamps now for the from. So we're talking maybe about different things here, right? When you look into Netlify Analytics, you see that they have this little drop down here that clearly only lets you go back 30 days. But I'm working on the, hopefully nobody's, if Phil Hawksworth kind of comes back, yeah, we're working on an undocumented API endpoint here, right? So let's have a look here, and you see here, oh, did that refresh? Let's have a look. And I think that we can get visitor data from a little bit longer, isn't it? So we have here, did they limit that? Are you right? Oh, that is bombarding. I know that I curled the API like 2 or 3 months ago, and it was possible to get longer data. Did that update now? Did I mess up with the timestamps? So this, did I change that? Yeah. Oh, are they limiting that? I swear they were not, because we were curling, a friend and I were curling away. So we see here that the data goes back till 36. Yeah, looks like you're right. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's exactly where I wanted to go. I wanted to fetch more data. I'm 100% certain that only a few months ago we were reverse engineering the analytics dashboard because he was saying exactly the same thing, and we were copying curl from the DevTools, and I'm 100% sure that we were able to fetch more data than 30 days. Maybe they changed that now. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's exactly where I wanted to go. Because the 30 days thing annoys the hell out of me. So what do we get here? We get... Oh no, look at this. Look at this. We get 170 entries. Something is not right with the display here. So let's check that out for a second here. So we have the visitors data has a response that includes 170 entries. And the page views has 35. So it looks like the garbage collection is not the same actually for both. So when we... Well, let's just comment out the page views for now, because I think I'm iterating here over the page views. So I assume that now we see a longer graph here for sure. Wait, what did I break here now? Okay, let's remove one line, which is page view count. So we have here visitors, which clearly returns some data. I did where? Okay, let's copy that for a second. Let's flip it around. So we want to iterate over unique visitors. And now we have unique visitor count. Unique visitor count. Maybe you're right after all. Oh, I'm sad about this because I'm very sure that, yeah, it's all zeros. Yeah. Oh, that now makes me super, super sad. Because I'm actually, so when I look at this, so I blog quite a little bit. So, and what I'm really interested in is just an aggregated view of a month. right? So I'm not really caring about the up and downs here. Oh. Is that true for all the things? So let's have a look. Month. Well, that's at least a hockey stick. Oh, sure. Well, yeah, hockey stick growth here. Well, that's good. Okay, and both APIs. How do you do this? How do you persist the data? I mean, it could. So I wouldn't like to. Do you put it in JSON and put it into the repository or something? Oh, that is unfortunate. Because I actually don't really want to persist all this data myself. I think. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it could be automated. Just if you commit it to the repository, you could also have something like a GitHub action that triggers every day and fetches yesterday and writes to disk. But I'm not really sure if I... So my main idea here was... So I thought my main idea here was that I would love to have just a better UI for Netlify Analytics, because I really tested that and to see how much data they persisted. And I really thought that this is just a UI limitation here, because I had a look a few months back. Maybe I'm wrong though. And my goal here was to provide a better Netlify Analytics UI, so that we could maybe just sit on top and people could use it with their sites. But when now the data is really just limited to 30 days, yeah, then aggregating more data to, for example, a monthly view, then and I'm not really keen on kind of fetching all the data regularly myself. I wouldn't want to. I mean, you could automate that away with a GitHub action if I don't want to use a database or something. But I really, oh, I don't know. That is very unfortunate now. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So what I built so far is that I have a custom Netlify login Oauth flow, which I forked from this example here. It comes with two functions. You can then authorize and get an access token. And after that, it's fetching some data and it's showing currently the unique visitor count for from April till today. And you see that I had a massive growth for my blog, because Netlify is not persisting data longer than data longer than 30 days. I'm not really sure what you do here. So I'm just gonna check out the blog post that Polar Burke, I'm not sure if I'm saying that wrong. Apologies if I don't. Stats view and view. Yeah. Yeah, so basically I did more or less the same here. Pages from to, yeah. But he's not persisting in either here, is he? So he's calling the analytics thing. Yeah. Yeah, I did probably pretty much the same here. But if it's, but how long is that? That is, but he has some data here from over several months, isn't it? So he has 3 months. And now get page views, get sources. Let's see what he has here. Okay, so yeah, the app is called testing, so that's great. Okay. And we see here that he probably runs into the same issue. Let's see. Yeah, this is 30 data points, isn't it? Yeah. So whatever I put in here, it doesn't matter anymore because it stays the same. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I think I'm gonna call it a wrap. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this now, because this limit is kind of breaking what I want to do here. And anyways, I'm gonna that's all right. No worries. So I'm gonna continue streaming on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. CET my time, because I'm based in Berlin. For the next week, I'm probably not gonna continue this because I'm a little bit sad about that right now. But what I would like to do is probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work a little bit on my own website. And what I have currently here on my website is this sharing button. And what I would like to do here is this currently just opens Twitter and pre-fills this thing. What I would like to do is that I would like to have a proper web component that is something like this, sharing or share button, that then uses the web share API when it's available and for mobile devices and do some things. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that next week. And for that, thanks everybody for joining. I had a lot of fun, even though it didn't work, but I drew some graphs, which is good enough. So thanks for all the comments, and maybe see you next time. And that's it for today. See you later.